Hello there. My name is a.snowden. I'm Professor of Mental Health at Edinburgh Napier University, and I'm also the lead researcher here at the European Research Institute for Chaplaincy in Healthcare. I'm also a visiting professor at KU Leuven University. And I'd just like to give you this really quick whistle-stop tour of what the PROM is. So I'm going to do that by first telling you what it is, then saying why we need it, and finally give you some instructions on how to go about getting it. So what is a PROM? A PROM is a patient-reported outcome measure, and it's a self-reported questionnaire that assesses quality of life or perceived health status. Now, there are an awful lot of these PROMs around, but there is only one Scottish PROM, and the Scottish PROM is a self-reported questionnaire that quantifies the outcome of chaplain interventions. So it was deliberately validated to pick up the outcomes of what chaplains do in Scotland, and that's where it was devised, but it's since been used around the world. And this is it. This is the PROM. It's in, well, this is actually the PROM here, but it's generally in a questionnaire which has these different sections in it. And this first section is the demographic section, just name and address, gender, age, and whether someone's religious, spiritual, both or neither. And that's important because we want to find out whether chaplains particularly work well for people with religious or spiritual beliefs, or whether whether chaplains work just as well for anybody. And this next set of questions is about the things that the chaplain does. So during the meeting with the chaplain, I was listened to. I was able to talk about what was on my mind. My situation was understood. My faith beliefs were valued. And you would check one of these boxes according to how you felt the chaplain was during the encounter. So none of the time, rarely, some of the time, often, or all of the time. And that section is about the things the chaplain does. As I say, this last part is things the chaplain impact upon, and this is the PROM. So it's these 5 items that actually make up the PROM. And they're scored exactly the same as the last section, but the items are about the outcomes of chaplaincy. So being honest with myself about how I was really feeling. Anxious, that's a negatively worded item, so that's scored opposite way round. I had a positive outlook on my situation. I was in control of my life, and I felt a sense of peace. And people score these according to how they felt over the last 2 weeks. So that's the PROM. And finally, you can put some free text here. The patient puts some free text here, often to describe the encounter. And that's been really useful for chaplains to maybe reflect on their own personal practice. Okay, but why would I need it? You might be thinking to yourself. Well, have you ever asked yourself why we need chaplains in the first place? Or why not replace a chaplain with a nurse when there's a workforce vacancy? And are chaplains even important? What do chaplains do? And for example, do they do the same all over the world? Well, we've used the PROM to actually answer all of those questions and more. So you can see it's actually really quite useful to answer some fundamental questions about healthcare chaplaincy, which is really important when their position is often under threat. And so that's why you need the PROM. Now, why do I need it? That's that. How do I get it? Well, it's free to use, and it's available from Ian, and that's his email address there. You can also get in touch with me, and my email address is on the next slide. Now, it's copyrighted to NHS Education Scotland because they're the ones who paid for its development and its validation. Now, it's free to use. All that NES ask in return is that you would then send your anonymized data set after you've finished doing your research, your audit, your evaluation, or whatever it is that you'd be doing. Okay, and we can discuss that. please do get in touch with me, and you can get in touch with me there at a.snowden@napier.ac.uk. Okay, thanks for listening to that whistle-stop tour. I hope you got something out of it. There's loads more evidence on this website, and including history of the validation of the PROM and so on and so forth. But I hope this has just whetted your appetite and maybe given you some information you didn't know before. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.